Hello twin flames, welcome to my channel, welcome to your daily energy check. Let's jump straight into the reading. I think this is actually a better day in terms of the wind. It's more quiet, relatively quiet. But I'm also prepared with some of my props that I'm gonna use to hold the cards if necessary. And in the meantime, behind me is the Viktoriia-Gruzdieva. So I am now in a new location. We'll be exploring different part of the island. If you're interested in more details of my journey, my insights, you can follow me on Instagram. I post everything in stories day by day. In the meantime, this is our daily check-in. So let's start with an oracle card. And the other deck I brought with me is actually the angel therapy deck. So let's get a piece of advice for the feminines first of all, and then for the masculines watching. And we'll switch to tarot. I'll try to make this shorter because the internet isn't great. It's even worse now in this location. So the last reading that I posted, it took me like time overnight basically of constantly like keeping it awake and uploading to even get it out there. And I know it was a half an hour reading, which is longer than what I usually do, but you know what, I avoid having that situation. So let's get it. The law of attraction for the feminines today. Relationships and activities that you once enjoyed are now changing as you become more sensitive and aware of energies. Yeah, and this goes for activities for people, generally priorities in your life. You know, it's not to say that you are letting someone down or yourself down. Nothing's wrong, and it's just a natural flow of things when you are discovering something new about yourself, maybe new gifts that you want to explore more, or you also realize that certain activities drain you of your energy, and it makes sense that you don't want to invest in them anymore. But it can also be that maybe you're still interested in that something, but you realize that because of where you are with your energetic capacity and also sensitivity, why not, then it's just not a priority list, right? And maybe instead of doing it once a week, you are now like once a month is enough, or once in a couple of months, right? Because day by day you have other things going on and you want to focus on those. There's nothing wrong with that. It's interesting though that usually that's not really the finish line. That's not the final point where it gets you, because this is like almost like ongoing transformation. And I feel like that's even scarier to our brain and also to people around us who are used to knowing us a certain way, right? Because the more you give yourself permission to make those changes, to make those new choices, it continues taking you into a different path that maybe where you saw yourself a year ago or something. Masculines, your message is cut your cords. Ask Archangel Michael to clear any old attachments to fear that stem from past relationships, freeing you from destructive patterns. Yeah, so basically the message is that your brain is keeping you safe by getting you to avoid those feelings and those situations that hurt you before. But it's also keeping you away from a lot of opportunities, finding joy and happiness in this life. It doesn't have to be just a romantic relationship, by the way. Okay. King of Swords at the bottom of the deck. There's something where we need to be the grown-ups, like the grown-up energy I'm hearing. The twins approach it in a grown-up energy. It's so interesting how we balance out the energy of embracing our childlike self and at the same time being responsible and wise and, you know, be able to parent ourselves. Death is here. So again, big transformation. This only makes sense. We're in the middle of the eclipse gateway. So we're right in the middle of those energies working their way into our life. If you haven't seen it yet, you will be seeing it before the end of the month, even I'm hearing. But just don't be too surprised and don't push it away. It's one of those times where you can prepare for change, even though it's something massive and you probably don't see the full extent of it, but in your mindset you can. Wow. Feminine's got the moon and the star. Very, I want to say watery energy, but it's cosmic energy more than anything else. Yeah, it's Pisces and Aquarius. But both of those signs, they're like the last houses in the diagonal wheel, the last zodiac signs, like 11 and 12 out of 12. And those are parts, if you study natal chart and astrology, those are parts of our chart that talk about our connection to the universe, to the world as we know it, to other people at large, you know, not in specific one-to-one relationships, but generally to the society, to the humankind, and also to the cosmos, to the ethers, the whole meaning of life and death, speaking of death card I just saw, right? So it looks like those views, those beliefs have been revisited by feminines, but not because you just woke up one day and decided to revisit it, but something is happening in your life actively where your higher power is showing you something. It's an important message from diving in even deeper into it, right? It's a lot about, it's a healer energy, but it's also about using your senses and, you know, diving into the heart space. And I'm hearing heart chakra and the crown chakra in combination. That will help you see what really is happening and what is the course of action, you know, what is the next thing that you can do to heal or to dive deeper into this topic. It could be more of an exploration as well for some, right? Like, I don't know, maybe there is a death in the family that, you know, was very mysterious, but you never really went into it, right? But now you're getting some signs that you are supposed to. For masculines, we have the strength clarified by King of Cups. Masculines are becoming stronger in embracing their emotions, right? A lot of times in our society, masculinity is associated with not being emotional, the absence of emotions, right? And not even masculine, but strength, right? We're talking about strength here. Like, if you're strong, you're gonna put up a good face and, you know, not show how you really feel, especially if it's something negative or seen as weakness in society. And now masculines are truly looking into embracing those as something that's, you know, part of their personality, that's informing them rather than making them weaker. Okay, I'm starting to lose the cards, but I'm doing my best still. Additional question for today. Temperance clarified by the Hangman, another two major arcana. See how transformative this time is actually. Both of these are about observation and curiosity. And I just mentioned investigation, right? Investigation rather than taking action. That's the energies we're in right now, even for the connection. It's like, and it's interesting because they're actually, especially in this pair, it's a feminine and a masculine figure. So both twins are in that energy. It may look a little different for some. Some may be looking for answers and the universe is saying it's not the time just yet and you're supposed to be patient and wait for the divine moment, divine timing. For others, it's the opposite. It's like you're put in a situation where either you're getting the other side of the story from another person involved, or maybe somebody who's in the same situation in life as you were, but they're telling it differently, right? And you're hearing it in a very new light than what you used to see for yourself in your own case, right? But whatever it is, it's reframing the reality, it's seeing it with new eyes. What's the comment here for the feminines? Page of Pentacles clarified by 4 Wands. Yeah, this is starting with kindness. And and not necessarily focusing on just union with the masculine, but essentially working on what is the essence of your service in the world, and how is this alchemy of giving and receiving works in small things, right? It's the page. So we can start with something easy, something small, you know, I don't know, you're asking a neighbor for a favor, or giving a ride to a friend because they couldn't, you know, their car was not available this morning, or inviting someone for dinner and cooking that dinner for them, right? It's like this. And I know for some people it will be small, for some people it will be like, wow, it's a huge deal. I never really do that. So if I ever invite somebody for dinner, it will be special. But you know, use your own context. But what I'm saying is it doesn't have to be like you give up something of yours just to be of service to someone else. And that's not the point anyway, right? But it is about acts of kindness, one at a time. Whenever you see that opportunity, be open to it. See if you can give without depleting your own energy or without it taking away anything from your experience. It's a craft, it's an art, and it's especially harder if for one or another reason in your family, in your generational line, it hasn't been easy, let's put it that way. And maybe either your generation or your ancestors had to fight for their resources. Maybe they didn't see kindness from others, you know, or in situations where someone would promise like they would help, then they let them down, right? It all builds up this energy of distrust, generally speaking. Not to go into too much detail, of course, there are lots of nuances, and each case is unique, but that's the energy we're working with. So it can manifest itself literally as money, but it can be anything else that we energetically give and receive. So this is the topic to pay attention to. For the masculines, we have 8 of Wands clarified by the shadow side, which is judgment actually. But in this deck, it's shadow side. So there is an 8 of Wands is actually almost like a ritual as well with animals. There is some kind of liberation from certain karmic patterns that masculines are experiencing or should be paying attention to, right? Like this diving deeper and seeing the situation differently will unlock the ability to talk about it, the ability to share, whether it's to, you know, an independent party like a trusted friend, or it's to the person who has let you down or who, you know, you have that confusing situation with, right? When it's hard to talk, now you're getting that opportunity. That block is being taken out, so you can find the truth and you can speak up yours. How the feminine seeing the connection at this time. The Tower clarified by 10 of Swords. Wow. Yeah, I almost feel like it's healing through the revelation of true pain and suffering, right? Like maybe something was downplayed somewhere where you pretended like it was okay, you could handle it, or someone told you, or somehow, for some reason, you didn't really acknowledge the full extent of that past hurt and suffering, and now you will see it. And because the more you see it and understand it, the better you can deal with it, the more you can heal it, right? So the Tower moment will actually, again, help liberate yourself from that painful cycle and open up to the new cycle that, you know, that it's 10 of Swords, end of the cycle, and then it goes back to 1 of Swords, to Ace of Swords. You will be able to start fresh in the truth, in the space of truth. Masculines, 9 of Wands clarified by 10 of Pentacles. Beautiful energy, love everything about it. Definitely they stay, how to say this, deep down they know that happiness is granted in this connection. Like they can't really go wrong. But on the surface, the mind is still playing tricks to them, where a lot of things they are overthinking, right? There's fear of taking that next step. There's still some kind of a program that's being played, and we already talked about it early in the reading. And And that's why cutting cords is important. And you can rewind back to that message about working with Archangel Michael to ask him to help cut the cords from that old karmic cycle, right? Because that cycle keeps pushing that program from the brain that it's not gonna work out, or it's gonna be a trap. You know, I'm gonna make a promise to this person, I'm gonna commit, and then I'm gonna lose myself in it, or you know, this person will break my heart, whatever that program is. And this is a general reading, so I can't speak for everyone, but that's the essence of it. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave it here. It was so good to be back with the reading. I'll try to keep them coming. Probably won't still be every day for the next week, but I'll do my best. And I also have this ambitious goal of starting to record the October readings on the Mindful Bamboo channel, but we'll see how that goes. At the very least, I promise there will be a special edition reading for the solar eclipse that we're experiencing next week. And if I can, I want to record messages for each zodiac sign the same way I did for the lunar eclipse. So at least we'll have that, and maybe October readings will be delayed this month, but you know, that's just where I am. And it's not even so much about the time to record the readings, but more about being able to upload them. And if I can't upload them, then it doesn't really make that much sense to be recording them and just saving them for next week, for end of next week when I'm back home. Okay, anyways, I love you guys. Please don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. Today we have a wonderful episode of Mindfully Awake with Jess, my biomechanics coach. If you've heard me talk about it, or you heard about it in general, but you didn't really know what it was, this is your easy way to kind of dive deeper into it and understand how it works, and also connect to Jess with her resources. She already has a program, so it can be very tangible, you know, not just generally talking about the way muscles work and fascia works and all that stuff, but to be able to embrace it, and whatever your angle to it is and your curiosity or your goal, she can help with that. So I'll share the link in the comments, but in the meantime,